Thank you for turning me on, Greg. Okay, that was probably the most intense. I wasn't supposed to cry. And I lined my eyes and everything with black eyeliner, so that's not gonna work. And I wore eye makeup. Thank you guys for the standing ovation. I hope it's because that you all see a piece of yourself in that video. Can you identify with it? If you could identify with it, let me know. You know what's really cool about that is those applause were not size exclusive. It was the entire spectrum of this journey. And I think that's what's so vitally important. So we gotta change this energy for a second, because I can't stand up here like whimpering, and it's really tough to watch that video. And not because I'm like sad we went through. I'm so freaking glad we went through that, because where we are right now. So here's what I need you guys to do. And I need energy. I need you guys all to say, my story matters now. 1, 2, 3. My story matters now. Listen, y'all. DC is big. I know DC's got some energy. I need energy, because I need you to believe this. I need to hear it like you flippin' believe it. 1, 2, 3. My story matters now. One more time. My story matters now. Do you believe me? Non-believers in this audience, and I'm okay with that, because I'm hoping by the end of this that you will believe this. I am not a unicorn in this. I represent over 70% of the population. According to the CDC, 70% of the population is overweight. Now let me tell you something. I've lost over 100 pounds. Hold on. I've put on weight. And I lost it, and I put on weight, and I lost it, and I put on weight. Just recently, I was in the 80-day obsession test group. I lost 29 inches, 10 inches off my waist. What was it? 4 inches off my thigh. Like, ridiculous. In a 1-week period of time, I gained 20 pounds. And I'm gonna tell you what happened, because I think it's important for you guys to know this stuff. So, in this journey, you have your ups and downs. I want to tell you that life's been perfect since after that video. We've had no struggles, we've had no problems, it's been a breeze, you guys. Life has been so freaking easy, like I don't know what y'all are complaining about. Like, that's the worst of it. That's the worst of it. It may have been in that moment, but that story prepared me and my family for where I am today. I'm a better person because of that story. And I'm gonna be honest with you, life has been tough since after that. So a lot of times we get hung up. How many of you guys have been on this journey? You've lost your gain, you lost your gain, right? Oh my gosh, again, not size exclusive. Very interesting, not size exclusive. So the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of you guys know that I speak to plus size women. A lot of plus size women relate to me. Well, guess who else relates to me? People who are fitness experts. People who are on the other end of the spectrum. Because this journey doesn't have a size. As a matter of fact, I use the hashtag for my hashtag, Fit Has No Size. When I got done with 80-day obsession, I was chosen to be a part of this test group. And they said, oh, by the way, it's an intermediate to advanced test group. The demographic is this, which was not my demographic. And I'm like, let me show you what we can do. Let me show you what we can do. And I made it bigger than myself. I followed it to a T. I struggled through it like you wouldn't believe. I got on those sliders, I swore there was a weight limit. I'm like, and I was taking notes like, ooh, I have to let Autumn know there's a weight limit on these sliders, you really should let people know that. No, there was a core limit. I didn't have the core, right? Like, I tried the chair, I tried all these things. Eventually, I got rid of the sliders, and I decided I'm just gonna start going through the movements as best I can and modify it. Came out of that group. We moved. I don't know if you guys know, we moved into a small apartment. We stayed there. Rebuilt our lives from scratch. In November of this year, all of a sudden, a home fell into our lap. So I don't know if you guys have ever had to overcome financial ruin. Not an easy thing to do, and people have lots of opinions about that. And we were able to get into this home. And I lost my mind. all my son wanted is field grass between his toes. He wanted a backyard. Didn't know what it felt like to live in a home. And, I remember our furniture came from like garage cans, like whatever it took to rebuild our house. Our first apartment had mice. It was nuts. We lost. When I say we were broke and homeless and lost everything, I still don't have a wedding ring, whichever hand it's supposed to be on, I don't remember anymore, to this day. We sold that too. You will do what it takes to put food in your kid's belly, and you will do that for them before you will take care of yourself. Right? Yeah, it's the opposite, y'all. You put the mask on you first, and then you put it on your kids. But we don't do that because they become a convenient reason, aka excuse. Move into this home, finish 80-day session, so excited. We were in a home. I got slammed with the most massive amount of depression and anxiety that I've felt in years. It scared me. It scared me. Because all of a sudden, I call it my internal gremlin. My internal gremlin came out. The voice I got down to a whisper, my girls in Team NSB know this. The voice I got down to a whisper came out with a vengeance. And I fed it after midnight. I guess you're not supposed to do that. I'm an 80s girl. Remember grandmother? So I started feeding that thing after midnight, and that thing went from gizmo to the big ugly gremlin in like 0 to 60 seconds. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, we're gonna be on the streets. We're gonna be on the streets. What have I done? What have I done? Can I do this? Fear shakes me to my core when I talk about this. But I want you to know this because you guys understand that you're still gonna go through a struggle. You're still gonna have problems. Shortly thereafter, I tell people this, I firmly believe I manifested shingles on my face. Thank God for Tony Horton telling a story. I'm like, oh, that's really tragic. What a bummer, Tony. And I'm like, oh, I had no idea that I was reading my future. I had no clue. And I woke up one morning, my face is falling off, my forehead looked like Klingon, my face is falling off, and I looked at my husband and I'm like, did I have a stroke? Because I couldn't talk. Like my mouth wouldn't move. And we thought, oh my God, I've had a stroke. I had shingles on my face. I lost my vision. And I don't know if you guys have ever lost vision before, but you kind of know what you're supposed to see. Well, I knew what my room was supposed to look like, what this house was supposed to look like. I had to sit in the dark. No light, no computer, no sound. Oh, just like an audibles in your ear. Have you ever had facial pain, nerve pain so intense? No sound. Not even a chirping bird. I became a vampire. And I went, what just happened? So in order to help me with the shingles and to save my eyesight, they put me on medications. It was really cool. My husband has kind of a background in things and knows what steroids can do. Somebody mentioned, or forgot to mention, you can gain a tremendous amount of weight very quickly with steroids. I gained 20 in less than 1 week. My stomach came out to here and I went, what happened? Here's the thing I've learned in this journey. In the 5 years I've been on this journey, I've been able to maintain an 85-pound weight loss and 6 dress sizes. That ain't the impressive part. The impressive part is I found such an extreme sense of self-love starting day one because I was not put on this earth to be a mistake. My body and what it looks like is not to be, it's not anybody else's business. It's my body. And I love it from the inside out. I was forced to sit in the dark. And I think the universe needed me to see something that I was missing. And I sat in the dark to see the light. Your darkness allows you to see the light. What is it? Seeds plant? Seeds sprout in the dark. Growth happens in our struggle. Growth happens in our deepest, darkest moments. It's supposed to. And if you're not listening, it's keep hitting you until you finally listen. I don't know how many times the universe was kind of like knocking on my soul going, hey, you need to change some stuff. Some stuff's going on. And I ended up finding comfort and solace, I guess is the word, when that depression and anxiety hit. I remember that place. I remember all the struggles I was going through. I liked it very much. But I liked living my life better. And that was tough. So how many of you guys have had your business and your business, oh, by the way, I should tell you, the last 10 days of the year, had all the points in the world, everything set up, I missed a lead. Did that define me? Not for an instant. I value a lead. I value rank. I value what this business can do for us. But my kids didn't have to worry about food being in their belly. We increased our income. Insert Beachbody disclaimer here. We never talk about finances here, but let me tell you something. We increased our business by 160% that year. Just because one thing goes wrong or you miss one thing, it doesn't define everything. A bad moment doesn't have to turn into a bad year or a bad life. It's a bad moment. And so after all this, I can't be on social media, I can't do anything. You know who wrapped their arms around me? My Beachbody family. It was no secret. They knew I was struggling. They showed up at our house with a Christmas tree. They all sent these beautiful ornaments. And I was reborn. Because it was a reminder that this is a journey together. And not separately and not individually. Our mess is our message. In your deepest, darkest moment that you want to hide from the rest of the world, there's one person out there that's desperate to hear about it. That needs to hear it from you and where you stand right in this moment. It's that powerful. I didn't hide my story. Well, Tulin, was it difficult to show that you were having ups and downs and things like that, and you were struggling personally? Yes, it was, but I believe in being completely transparent, and I don't worry about what the negative naysayers have to say, because I'm not talking to you anyways. I'm not. I'm talking to the person that needs my message, but most importantly, I am talking to myself. And I put it on social media. Social media has been my greatest therapy. I would not be with these amazing women if it wasn't for social media. If I didn't share my raw transparency, they would not be in my life. And as much as I pour and I want to share my journey, you know what they do? They do the exact same thing. They're coaches. We coach each other through the most difficult times. So, I'm down a little bit from that game. Couldn't do much. Does it define me? Or as a coach, I'm standing up here in the tightest jeans I have. And I like it. And I like it. And that's the thing, you guys, is this journey is so much more than what you think it's supposed to be. That is wasted energy. It is not about what you think it's supposed to be, and it's about where you are right now. So I'll give you an example. So, I think on the slide it says the plus size health and fitness motivator. Do you know how I came up with that term? So I was walking in I used to be a model, I'm not anymore. I do some stuff, but I don't pretend like I'm a model because I certainly can't pose. But I had an opportunity to walk in a runway show, the first plus size woman to walk in an outdoor retailer show. And I was really proud about that. I was much larger than I am right now. And I remember they asked me, like, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I don't know, I strung a bunch of words together. Plus size health and fitness motivator. Do you know why I know that matters? Because I see all you guys who say plus size health and fitness motivator, plus size health and fitness mentor, plus size blah, blah, blah. You know what that means to me? That means that we have a message that's bigger than ourselves, and we want to get out there and we identify with that. Does that make us less than? Are there people in this audience who don't understand the term of being plus size? You might, because you might not have a struggle. Plus can't be a negative. This is how we found workouts. This is how people find the modifiers. This is how they can find workout clothes that they feel fierce in, that doesn't have random freaking rhinestones thrown on it. This is how we felt. Like, I don't know, do you guys all work out with rhinestones? Because somewhere along the way, somebody thought plus size women need to work out with rhinestones, and we don't. We chafe enough as it is. We don't need rhinestones to add to it. Alright, so when we think about the negative aspects of, well, I can't understand, you're still on your journey, how do you share this? The number of people who think this in this room are very few. The number of people who are inspired by this is a lot. Yes. This is the world. This is who needs us. And regardless of what you identify with, somebody needs you right now where you stand. And I want to bring up something else too. As a larger woman, the last thing I want is to be judged by my body. Therefore, if I don't want to judge myself or be judged for my body, I have to honor and respect every other body on the spectrum. There is no one in this room right now that doesn't understand my struggle. No one. I don't care if you're size 2. You know what it means to struggle. You know what it means to overcome. You know what it means to get that consistency in your life. So if you have a coach that's on the smaller end of the spectrum, she gets you. He gets you. 6-pack, he gets you. She gets you. And if you're plus size, don't think for a minute that 6-pack Joe and the fitness instructor at the gym that you can't identify. You 100% can. Your story, your journey, and where you are right now is what matters, not what you think people want to see. We are not here to be dancing monkeys. We are not here to perform. There's this thing that happens when we become a coach that we think that, what's my niche? Anybody struggling with that? Like, what's my niche? Who should I be talking to? Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Who should I be talking to? You. You. Where you are right now. What did you figure out? What have you figured out recently? It's not a big deal. Just something little. Somebody hasn't figured that out. And they're going to see you on social media, sharing the comfort level that you have, and go, I identify, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, because I see me in you. And I didn't need to know your whole story. I just need to know that you had this thing that you figured out, and I'd like to figure that out too. Well, here, I have a total solution in a box, in an online workout. I want to do this together with you. We don't have to have letters behind your name. Actually, you do. I lied. You do. You have to have 4 letters behind your name. You ready? L-I-F-E. I'm pretty sure we all have that. Those are letters you need to have behind your name. How many of you guys struggle with people judging you? Judging you for eating healthy? Judging you at Thanksgiving, like, what happened to that diet you were on? Says Aunt Sally, who could really use the solution in the box. It's always interesting, right? You know why? Because you're holding up a mirror to those around you, and they're realizing they should too. I was told what I do is bad for plus size women. It's okay, that's all right, because they've been highly inspired and they've had an amazing journey themselves. I was told what I do is bad for plus size women. I was fighting 2 industries, myself personally. The plus size health and fitness, the plus size industry that I came out of, and the health and fitness industry. Because when I went searching for a version of myself online 5 years ago, somebody else having a hard time literally getting off the couch, not because I'm lazy, I physically could not get my center of gravity to get off the couch. I was somewhere between 350 and 400 pounds. How am I going to do these exercises on the floor? How am I going to do crunches? Well, guess what? I don't have to. I went searching for that, and all I found was women who talked about how much they hated themselves before and how much they love themselves now. I'm like, I love myself now. I love myself so much that I'm going to go take off and take really good care of myself and whatever that looks like. So I couldn't find her, I became her. And I encourage you to become him or her. Don't look what other coaches are doing, or what they call themselves, or their niche. It's not you. Be inspired, but be the version of you right now. So how do you do that confidently? Can I give you guys a couple real quick tips? So here's the deal. You're not here to debate, talk into, any other word that goes along with pull up a source. Okay? You're not here to justify who you are and why you do. You are here to be the best version of you on that day. Only worry about the person that needs your message. I'm always really surprised, we talk about mastery points and, helping a lot of people, because there's a lot of people out there need help. I don't have the magic niche, because if I had the magic niche that people are talking about, you're too focused on the marketing and not focused enough on the person. I focus from my heart. What brings you joy? What feels good to you? What makes you get verklempt? Who is she? Who is he? Who are they to you? What is that thing that when you say, because I'm thinking about her. See what just happened? Because I'm thinking about her. Who lights my belly on fire? Who sets my soul on fire? Who am I? What was I looking for at this point? Have you thought about that right now? Can you think of that? Think about that. Who makes you cry? Who makes you cry? Who makes you get emotional? That's who you need to be talking to. Because it's probably you. It's probably a version of you. And I'm going to tell you that on this point. There is nobody in this room that doesn't have at least one life to help change on a monthly basis. There's no one in this room that doesn't have at least one life to help change on a monthly basis. You certainly have at least 3. And here's the difference from where I stand. And remember, you guys have to remember, I had to restart my business. Starting and stopping your business is very difficult. But when I sat in the dark, I'm like, how do I want to have this feel differently? What do I want to change? And I overhauled some stuff. I don't recommend overhauling everything, but it was time for me to overhaul some things, and I did. The reason why we're not helping people on a monthly basis is because we're so worried about what they're going to think of us. We're so worried about them saying no. Let them say no. Don't convince them, don't talk them into it, but let them see you show up. Let them see you move forward, even if it's falling flat on your face. Do you know what my kids learned? My kids learned how to stop eating junk food. I fed them junk food. I don't even know how many fat cells I put in them, because it's a lot. Sponsored by McDonald's. Yeah, so when Autumn said that, right? In these past 5 years, my struggle with my food addiction has become less and less and less and less. And in the moments that I binge, I now have binge rules, because I still do. I'm human. I'm a human, period being human. Just like everyone else. But in those 5 years, I've learned what it meant to fuel myself with foods that are appropriate. I am not the fast weight loss story, and thank goodness for that for me in my life. I'm a slow turtle. But those sliders I told you about, that I couldn't move, I can pike on those, and I was able to do the frog. Like 15 of them, a couple of rounds. You're going to have moments that your business is going to stop. You're going to have things that go wrong in your life. In this room, somebody's going to have sickness and illness and job loss and whatever it is. You can choose to live there, or you can choose to move forward in spite of it. I'm going to give you the worst marriage advice in the world. My husband, I said in the video, he moved forward in spite of me. I wanted to keep him where he was as the unsupportive spouse because I was concerned there wouldn't be room in his life for me. There are people who do that. I was one. I used to eat Beachbody coaches for breakfast in the morning if you reached out to me. Hey, I've got a weight loss and accountability group. I'm like, hey, does it look like, what makes you assume that's what I want? Oh, because I'm big? Well, let me tell you, and I was brutal. I was really mean, but I was angry. I was mad at my husband, I was mad at my life, I was mad at all these things that had occurred. The reason why I'm telling you all this stuff is because, one, I had to apologize, and I'll say it again, I apologize to every Beachbody coach for any horrible thing I've ever said. It's only because I was in a negative, nasty place, and I admit it, and I didn't know what it meant to have kindness in my life. I haven't met a Beachbody coach yet that hasn't been genuine, loving, and amazing. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. We have a very different culture. I changed. I changed because of you guys. You showed me in my darkness When my husband, I don't know if you know, the first year we made a six-figure income, it was like, oh my gosh. And then my husband decided to try and die. And we didn't have health insurance, and in 3 days, he had a double infection. He thought it was an MS symptom. It was not. He had 107+ degree temperature. He was dying in my arms. And off he went. And I went on social media saying, I don't know what to do. Thank God for live. I'm like, my husband's in the hospital. My kids are at home. I don't know if he's going to live. In my Beachbody family, before anyone else wrapped their arms around me. And in 3 days, that six-figure income we developed, we took on $100,000 in debt. So let me give you some perspective. When I started with a $140 challenge pack. We got 2 because I said, well, how many servers in Shakeology? He said 30. I said, great, then we're getting 2 and we're gonna starve. I was pretty certain we were gonna starve, okay? And healthy food is expensive, says the girl that was at the McDonald's drive-thru for the $1 menu that turned into the $15 menu. Okay, so I get all this, and I got it with the intention of returning it in 30 days. Because I like that 30-day money-back guarantee, and I was going to lick the inside of it, and crumble it up, and take it over, like, give me my money. That's where I was. And I signed to be a coach, so I'm like, hey, that commission can roll up, that'll help me buy some groceries with that. I did. The coolest thing in the world was having a check sent to me in the first place that went to the grocery store. That's where it went. So I kept thinking that eating healthy was impossible, not with the money we had. I learned it was the opposite. I learned it was the opposite. That $140 challenge pack that we got ×2, which by the way, we couldn't even keep the utilities on, so what were we thinking? Judge me all you want, because this sure changed my life. That was the best crazy risk investment I ever made in my life. So I got my husband, my kids are healthy, I'm healthier, we bounce back. Now it's like when we fall or when things go wrong, I'm like, oh, come on universe, what's coming? Something amazing is going to come. Every time I fall, my bounce is ridiculous, and that's not unique to me, that is us. If we choose to celebrate and go, hey, something just went wrong. I wonder what's about to go right. It's a mindset shift. So now you think about it, we paid $140 for a challenge pack, right? For our health, I would have paid 10 times that. The hospital bills that we took out for my husband to keep him alive. $100,000 is a bargain. Now how worth is your health? How worth it? And we have Shakeology, we have Beachbody on Demand, we have a total solution in our hands. A total solution. And we keep it to ourselves. Because we're afraid they're gonna say no. We're afraid they're gonna think we're being pushy. We're afraid that we're trying to sell them. We don't want them to think that. No, no, no. Be afraid of the person's life that you aren't changing right now because you're keeping it so close to your chest. I mean, listen, I'm not going to tell people about my hairstylist because I want to be able to get an appointment on the drop of a dime. But there's plenty of Shakeology and there's plenty of Beachbody. You don't have to keep it a secret. Talk about it. Talk about it. Beachbody, what we do is for everyone. And Beachbody's become very, very amazing. When I started Insanity, there were no modifiers. I couldn't find other bodies like Mind Emotion. Now we have modifications. Now we have UV2. But let me tell you something. Here's my brutal, honest truth. When they told me it's advanced intermediate workout, and I said, let me show you what we can do, it became bigger than me. Thank you. It became bigger than me. And my ladies in my group of mostly plus-size women, if they're not anymore, it's because they're not, because they worked hard to get there. Guess what they're doing? 80-day obsession, an intermediate and advanced workout. You know why? Because we worked on losing the weight between the ears. When you do that, the rest changes. The rest changes. We're too busy chasing the weight. Help lose the weight between the ears. So I have 5 minutes, and I would love to take any questions anyone has. Was that helpful, you guys? Are you going to do something with that? No, seriously, like, don't just listen and be inspired and motivated, like, yeah, let's go do something with it. All right, who's got a question? I saw it right here.
So I actually lost a significant amount of weight. My question is, what do you do for confidence? How do you not go back and see that goal?
So she was asking, she's lost a lot of weight, but how do you not go back Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. A lot of times that happens if we're too focused on the weight loss. People think that number is when you gain the happiness and the confidence, etc., etc. So they think when I lose the number, when I get to the number, I will feel X, Y, and Z. That may not be the case for you, just as a generality, okay? And so if you're struggling with body image and body confidence right now and have had a significant amount of weight loss, I encourage you to go dig in and lose the weight between the ears. Because when you celebrate the journey as you go, and again, I don't know your story, generality, but if you learn to celebrate your journey as you go, those non-scale victories, you're so stoked about what's happening in your life that you, like, all of a sudden your blood sugar is better and all these things are different, that the scale is like a bite. Am I right, girls? They're back there. All of them we connected about weight loss, am I right? All of them know it's about the weight between the ears. Personal development, find a support community, or you know what? You know your struggle, right? There's who you should be talking to. Is the person who's in the struggle with you right now that's struggling to accept where they are. Because that body in transition, she needs help. Because everybody's so focused on weight loss. But personal development helped a lot. And also, I kind of took on, I was like, bad A attitude about it. I'm like, this is me. Like, I just started owning that on a daily basis. Anyone else? There's Lillian.
How long have you been a coach?
I have been a coach for over 5 years, I think.
So when you were in the deepest part of your depression, what was the hardest thing for you to overcome? Like, what was that brick wall that you kept slamming against?
That I wasn't good enough. That I don't know what I did, and I said it, I don't know what I did to go through what we went through. And my worth was determined by everyone else's opinion. And there is a culture that we live in that when we're down, people like to remind you that they're down and trying to be helpful. So I had to remove a lot of people out of my life.
That was my other question, is how did you overcome?
I just did, including bloodline. I had to make it about me and my little nucleus of a family, but most importantly, I had to make it about myself. I got extremely selfish because I had to become 100% selfish so I could be 1,000% selfless for others. And I fill my cup for me first, the rest of the world gets what comes out of it. And they get some really good stuff that comes out of it. I think it's the last question, yeah.
You said that you did a overhaul of your business. Like, what did you do?
So for me, because I can help a lot of people, I actually went back through my entire process. So all my coaching content is based off myself, my years of experience, and then also their journeys, the ladies I've worked with. So I have been going through it step by step by step by step. Because that's a part of my business that brings me a lot of joy. And I need to go back and see what I needed to shift and change, what needed to be updated, what was I saying, things like that. And so that brings me a lot of joy in helping women on this journey. Because I may high recruit, but I do have a lot of discount coaches, and I'm okay with that. Because I tell everybody about the discount. So yeah, so I did do that. Now, I usually don't recommend overhauling the business. You don't. But when I say I overhauled what, and I'm still in the process of what I'm offering to those that I coach. I want to get up in the morning and know that when they're going through this content, that I'm excited to see what their reaction is to it. And so I felt a little disconnected from that for a while, and I'm like, you need to go back on what you saw. I'm like, damn, this stuff's good. This is really good stuff. I was really impressed with myself. I know it sounds funny, but it's true. That's one of the things that I did. I think I'm done. Am I at the point? Is that 5 minutes? Anyways, thanks you guys.